Welcome to BizTips with Jenny Rice, bringing you insights from real entrepreneurs. No fluff, just raw, practical strategies from those who've been in the trenches. Whether you're launching, scaling, or pivoting, this podcast is your backstage pass to lessons, successes, and game-changing tips. Get ready to learn, take action, and level up. Let's dive in with our next guest.
Hi, this is Jenny Rice from BizTips podcast. I'm very excited about our guest today. We have April Zeng, who is a real estate investor. Welcome, April.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really excited to have you as a guest. So why don't you start with, tell me a little bit about you and your background. You have such a good story.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in China. I didn't move to the US until I was 19 for college. So for the longest time, I was imagining myself being in the accounting and finance space where I will get an awesome job in Big Four accounting firms and make my way up there. But of course, throughout the years, I find myself pivoting into different space, into software, then AI, and then all the way now to real estate investment full time. So today I'm really excited to share, how some of my pivots have been done and some of the reasons behind those.
Yeah, it's great that you have such a varied background. And then you're using that knowledge to then really start your own business, right? That's what you've done. You've pivoted, like you said. And so tell me more about how you pivoted. That would be great for our listeners to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming out of a W-2 job and be on your own, it's very exciting, yet very scary. While I was having a W-2 job, I remember, I would go to Trader Joe's, as part of my day off, a random Tuesday afternoon. And then I look around like, who are these people? Do they all have jobs? How do they afford groceries? Uh, and then now, I think what's really driving me are two reasons for the pivot. One is the financial, the freedom and flexibility to be able to control my time. And second really is to change my income structure. So with W-2 is you earn, then you pay taxes, then you get to spend what's left over. Whereas now as a employer, you get to earn and then spend to expand your business and spend to network and education, all of that. And then of course all of those are tax write-off. Then you get to pay taxes for whatever's left over, but all of those expenses are there to improve your business. And then when it comes to pivot, yes, it can be scary. However, there are a lot of transferable skill sets that you learn from W-2 that can easily be tapped into in your own business. For example, real estate. Before I pivot full-time into multifamily real estate investment, I was in software, post-sales, sales, customer success. So in order for our customers to adopt our software, you have to have relationship management skills, account management skills, project management skills, how to influence your customers without authorities to really get them excited about a product. So in return, they stay as your customer and they will buy more. I think it's the same thing with real estate investment, because it's all about partnership with people who have done this many, many times. It's also about tending to attracting potential investors who is willing to come and look at your deals and potentially invest with you. So all of that will, in order to acquire and operate a property well, you need to build partnership with experienced people. You need to project manage CapEx expenditures, such as roof, such as renovation. And you need to build great relationship and manage your investors because they're the one who feel down payments into your project. So taking a step back, even though it can be scary, but none of your past experience skill set will go to waste. You'll realize that there are a lot of existing skill sets that you're able to tap into to further strengthen your own business.
That's great. What a good explanation of learning your skills and leveraging them for your business in a different model, right? You talked about, paying your taxes first and then spending your money, but now you get to choose how you want to invest that money, the revenue you're making back into your business and to prioritize right? The priorities of your business, but use those skills that you learned in there to leverage your business, make it more successful, which is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you get the freedom of what I love about being self-employed is that you're not trading your time for money. It's not like I'm working a 40-hour week and making so much money. Hey, my revenue really is unlimited. How far do I want to go?
Mhm.
And I can still use those skills, but then I'm the boss of my own time. I can decide when I want to work and how I want to work and things like
Yeah.
that. There's just so many more opportunities,
Yeah.
which is the entrepreneurial world, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I understand the appeal of a promotion because it's validation, recognition. It's a truly a reward for, all the hard work you put in. But ultimately, like you said, there's a limit in terms of, what level you will get promoted to. And also on the flip side, you'll have even less time perhaps to spend with friends, family, because your responsibility and work commitment just keep piling up. So it's almost as if, yes, you have more money coming from a W-2 job with promotion, but also you have less time to enjoy the money and then perhaps the most important thing in life, which is to spend time with your loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Very high priority. So tell me more about the multifamily business because it sounds very fascinating and interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So me and my partners, we scout out 20 plus unit multifamily across the nation. We don't have limit in terms of where, as long as the numbers make sense, and we're able to provide a high return, such as annualized average return of at least 15% to our investors. So those are some of the deals that we'll look at. We don't always look at deals in the, a saturated market, such as perhaps Los Angeles or Miami, but more for the emerging ones where jobs are coming in and there's more employers, and there's perhaps local government stimulus program that attract people to migrate to the city. So those are some of the target markets that we look at in order to ride the uptrend wave and hopefully, make this multifamily investment successful.
Yeah, what a great solution because you're helping the investors get a return on it. You're helping local people because you're providing housing for them and building that location, whatever it is, the stimulus for attracting, building more businesses and things like that. So it's a win-win all around, right? So
Absolutely. Since COVID, the median housing price in the US has grown from about 290K to now 420K. And the whole nation is starting to shift to more of a renter's nation. And then there's always a housing need, given the buying single family with this high interest rate environment becomes a distant dream. So if we're able to come in and provide a win-win-win situation, the tenants win by us operating the property better, investors win with the higher a great return, and us win by being the operator and the general partner to manage the property well. So we're creating this win-win situation to make sure that everybody wins.
wonderful. I love it. What a great solution all around for sure. So let's
Mhm.
take a step and talk about you as an entrepreneur. Did you face any challenges that you've overcome and maybe you can help with our listeners and so they can relate to that and maybe learn from that?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, So, so I grew up in China. So in Asian culture, you're being taught to be humble and don't always brag about yourself. Don't always stick out because then you might become a target and you might be seen as a little bit cocky. So you always want to be, humble. So, but on a on an entrepreneurial side, self-branding, self-marketing is one of very critical piece of the business operation. So even though I've been living in the US for quite some time, deep down, sometimes I still have to remind myself, hey, market yourself, let people know what you're capable of is critical. Because somebody told me that was a really good quote. It's not about just about what you know and who you know, but also about who knows you.
Love it.
Yeah, because if you don't tell everyone what you're capable of, what service and value you're able to bring to the table, how can people approach you to discuss potential opportunities? It's like
Mhm.
it's almost like Tinder dates, where on Tinder you
Yes.
list out who you are, who you're looking for, so that the platform is able to help match you. Same thing with building relationships. You gotta really put yourself out there and really, use data-driven evidence to prove out and showcase what you've done in the past and how you're able to offer value to them, so that there is, so that from you're doing in a way you're doing the job for them, and they, so that when it comes to matching skill set and potential opportunities, it becomes way easier. So for any entrepreneur out there, definitely encourage you to really think about your personal branding. What made you you? What made you stand out? Because just real estate alone, there are a lot of entrepreneur investors out there. Why you? So why should people partner with you, and why should investor invest in your deal versus somebody else's deal?
This is so great. So know your brand and be your brand and stand out as your brand, right? So people know you. And I love that switch on that quote. It's so amazing because it's true. If you don't stand out in the crowd, how are people going to find you too, right? And you need to be walking the talk and being that brand and being, I think, fully mind, body, and spirit into that. So you stand out authentically too, which is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the word authenticity. Absolutely. You want to have that consistent branding. It doesn't matter what type of events that you go, you're projecting a consistent image of who, let's say in this case, who April is, and what kind of experience you're going to expect to have when you interact with April.
Yeah. See, I see you, just by who you're showing up as a brand of very organized, very diligent, and very high in service and knowing what your customers need to be able to provide that whole big picture. That's what I'm seeing just by perceiving you right now as your brand, which is really cool. I don't know if I've got it accurately, but given
Yeah,
some,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I do see partnership and investment it's like a marriage.
yeah,
It is a term commitment. So if I can come across, if I can be of service to anybody on this journey, this is something I'm, always striving for. Um, it's how can I add value in every interaction?
yeah,
And how can I build this consistent trust? Because we're talking about, with tenants, we're talking about their livelihood. With investor, we're talking about their investment money. And with partners, we're talking about LLCs, company formation, and future partnership opportunity.
yeah.
All of those hinge on trust. How
Hmm.
and being able to present yourself consistently in a form of serving people, to me, I find that it's something that has been successful for me to help
That's great.
myself stand
That's
out.
great. That's great. And being that win-win-win that people then know, hey, I go to April, I'm going to get that win-win-win, right? So
Exactly. It,
wonderful. This is great. Love your input. So as we end the podcast, do you have any tips you can have for other entrepreneurs, whether people are starting up or experienced entrepreneurs?
um, I think, besides consistent branding and all of that, I think don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Mm,
You're bound to make mistakes. That's a given. So to me, I think entrepreneurship, it's like solving a multiple choice problem without knowing the answer, what the actual answer is. You just have to do trial and error, eliminate the wrong answer to arrive at the possibly the right one. And then the more frequently and earlier you make those mistakes, the faster you're able to learn, pick yourself back up, and then try to recalibrate and then get yourself back on track. So don't feel discouraged when you realize, oh, that's a waste of time, or oh, that I went to this conference and it didn't yield any outcome. That is completely okay. That's just means it's guardrail that's guarding, sort of pushing you back on the right track
hmm.
by avoiding those mistakes. So
Yeah. and learn them and not be afraid to step into the unknown and say, hey, I could fall down, but I'm going to get back up. I'm going to learn from my mistake. Right.
Exactly.
Which is the key thing. I like to look at the end of my day. I do it with gratitude. And I also say, what did I learn today? And it can be from a mistake. It could be from an interaction. It could be from something, so that I can take it with me for the next day too. I think it's so important. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think another thing is about reading. So, as someone who either brand new to the field or want to further enhance your skill set, naturally you want to spend more time and gravitate towards like this subject matter oriented books, such as, hey, how to do real estate, how to enter multifamily. While those are great, I would encourage really everybody to read at least 10 pages of self-improvement related books, because that really will help you set the right mindset in operating with the right framework. That will help last you a whole day or even a whole week. It gives you motivation and help you recalibrate and more assurance of what you're doing. So for example, right now I'm reading a book by Mel Robbins. It's called Let Them. So there are a lot of times where not everything will go your way, right? Because you're partnering with other people, you're partnering with property management company. You're not their boss. You can only operate with influence, with reasoning, but not all the time they can see or adopt fully of your suggestion. So, being able to strike the balance of letting go, let them do their thing, and also focus on let me, which is what things I can control to help with the situation. I think you're sort of shifting the mindset of trying to control everything to more of focusing on yourself. What can you do to add value?
Yeah.
So those self-help books like that will really help set the tone for the day or even for the.
I love that we're not just learning about the practical part of business, but the internal part of business and who you are and who you show up as. That's an important component of it. And it makes things more enjoyable too, right? So
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, April, it's been wonderful having you as a guest. I've learned something. I've been inspired. So thank you for being a guest on this podcast.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Yes, this is Jenny Rice signing off with April Zeng. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on this episode of BizTips. For more insights, join us online. We share exclusive tips, resources, and strategies to help you grow and scale your business. Until next time, keep building, innovating, and making an impact.